like your prediction. Tatum just said, I think there's going to be a remainder. In what place value, Tatum? I myself struggled with math growing up, and so I would teach what would stick with me, and it was a lot of the steps in the process and little tips and tricks. And this year, I've been able to teach it more thoroughly with hands-on and different strategies, really trying to make sure that the kids know 2 strategies plus a backup for anything that they do. So they have their own hand of cards that they can deal out at any moment, and they're really getting it. They are knowing division and multiplication like I've not even seen my own children know it that are in high school now. Is there any predictions you have about this problem? Ryan? We do 3 rotations so that I'm able to have small groups, leveled groups. My first group is the group that needs a lot of extra help. So we do a lot of talking, a lot of hands-on, and then I send them off to do the work by themselves. So each math group is just a little bit different in what they need.
We're being taught multiplication differently by using multiplication charts and learning our 9s tricks with our fingers instead of looking at the multiplication chart. And we're using number discs for division, and last year we just used it in the standard algorithm sort of way.
It's important for them to draw it and discuss it because that's how it sticks. That's how we learn even as adults. We don't learn by just discussing it, we have to do it. They're taking it apart, and maybe one person understands it a little bit different than another student, and so they can work together to come with different strategies, or, oh wait, I don't have to do that step, or don't forget this step, because if you don't do this, this will happen. Those discussions are valuable. So it's never silent in our room during math.
I feel like I just need to get my math out of my mouth because sometimes I feel like I don't know what to do because I'm stuck on a problem. But then when I tell Ms. Dingle how I'm feeling and what I need help with, she helps me and I understand it better.
It's a very safe time to make mistakes, to discuss how could I do this better, or I'm stuck. And also a safe place to celebrate. Hey, I get this. This is really great. We have students working together because we're all in it together. We're a classroom community. You know, we don't leave kids behind. We're all in it together.
I help students by saying, well, how did you get this number and how did you get that? And then I say, well, what strategy do you want to use or do you need to use? And then I show them how I did it, understanding that I get it and that now that they know it a little better than I do. And I feel like that they're getting it because I'm helping them.
I find it fascinating. It's almost like a puzzle, but now to take apart those puzzle pieces and put them back a little bit differently and they still fit is interesting to me, and even to the students, that there's not just one way to do something. There's freedom in math.
Well, I think it's important for students to do activities like mini debates because they get to, one, they interact with each other, communicate with each other, which is a good life skill. They talk about and get an in-depth understanding of the content more than just doing a worksheet or just asking them a question, and they actually teach each other in those activities, which is the ultimate form of learning. Is if you can teach someone else what you've just learned, then I've more than done my job. Today we're going to be doing a mini debate on the 2 early types of government in Athens. That was oligarchy and tyranny. So right now I'm going to give you guys about 3 minutes to go through and discuss why is an oligarchy better than a tyranny. Okay, over here, why is a tyranny better than an oligarchy? Write down some things that will convince the other side of why your form of government is better than theirs. Okay, ready? Go. I'll start class and I'll say, well, in our objective, you can see the mini debate, and they're like, yeah, we're doing a mini debate. or they'll ask me, so when are we going to do a fishbowl again, or when are we going to do the mini debate again? So they really look forward to that because it's not only good learning, it's fun too.
Their peasant population grew.
That's not a good thing. They divided it up into groups, and many of the lower people and the social anarchy, they didn't like the way the government was treating them because they couldn't say what they wanted in the government. But then theirs was supreme power, and I thought that was really arrogant of their society to have that name.
Having them doing these structured discussions, they're kind of forced into, okay, I got to share something, I got to give something, and once again, the analyzing what I think this looks like, and really good life skills of working in a group, verbalizing what you think and the reasons why you think that.
Okay, now we've prepared. We're going to start our debate. Ready? Go. You have 60 seconds.
We could make easier decisions than you guys because you guys had one person in power and we had more than one. They could use democracy in their group of people because then they could make a decision without like one person ruling over everyone else, making it fair for everyone else.
You know, I've been teaching for 20 years and you kind of get into, I think you get into after maybe 12, 15 years, you might get into a rut. So you always need new ideas. You always need changing things that you're doing as much as you possibly can. But I think seeing what I'm hearing from the middle school, or the kids that are coming from Chaparral are just ready and they're on. They can do all the things that they're asking them to do, like write essays and analyze documents, and so that's really a positive thing.
We just had the opportunity to go into a 4th grade math classroom and a 6th grade social studies classroom where the students were really digging into the learning, working in small groups. We saw a lot of accountable talk where the students are explaining their thinking. Very exciting. So now let's take a look at some of our 5th and 6th grade peer mediators as they mediate a conflict.
And this is Alyssa, and we're going to help you solve your problem. Taylor, what happened?
We were working on a science fair project, and we were making a catapult, but I was doing all the work, and without any help.
So how do you feel about it?
I felt like he was just being lazy and didn't want to help.
So, Christo, what happened?
Well, I was trying to do a science project, but I accidentally missed a piece, and he started being really bossy.
So how do you feel about that?
I felt like I couldn't do anything.
How do you want to help solve this problem?
I want to help by making it to where we could both work on our project together without either of us feeling the way that we feel.
What are you willing to do to help solve this problem?
Make up, so we can both do what we want.
What you guys were saying that you're willing to do is to help each other do the project and share the project equally, and by doing parts of the work together.
Yes.
And you're saying that you agree to this contract, saying that you're going to help by working together. So me and Alyssa are going to keep this conversation confidential, and you might want to too.
Thanks for coming.
We saw an opportunity here at Chaparral to really help students, again, take ownership of their learning and really dig into the training that they receive as peer mediators to be confident in their abilities to mediate conflict among their peers. The training provides students with excellent opportunities to help them strengthen their communication skills as well as listening skills. And it really is just a comfortable setting where students can come together and resolve a conflict before it gets to the office level.
So if people have a conflict, they can go to their peers instead of having to go to the principals and dealing it with them.
Because it's harder to talk to an adult than to another kid?
It pretty much takes the scare out of going up to the office because you know you'll be able to deal with other students and not.
It solves the conflicts that everyone makes.
I'm very amazed at what I've seen from our 5th and 6th graders. In fact, it's interesting to hear them when they share with me that they are taking initiative on their own, again, owning the learning, and they are out there on the playground or in the hallways mediating conflicts just on the spot, many conflicts that they're comfortable with and they are confident in their abilities to help fellow students just solve their problems.